Don't forget, hit a like. Give me a like in the chat right now if you haven't already. In case the show, of course, breaks down and we have to restart again, and it'd be nice to have all the numbers up there and stuff. Just hit that like while you're at it. I appreciate it. I'll wait. All right, now, the Hunter Biden subpoena. If they do, people do like me. Thanks, Gino. I think so. I mean, I try to be likable, without, crossing over into an area where my ethics, are, where I toss my ethics aside. I'm not going to do that just to be liked. That's crazy pants. Aw, thanks, Patrick. Now the question is, after all this stuff, they've got this subpoena. It's coming. It's the 13th. We'll see this big fight about it. Whether it'll be closed door. By the way, I think Hunter's going to show up for the closed door deposition. He will show up with his attorneys, and they'll film it as well as insist that it be filmed. All that kind of stuff. Just telling you. Just letting you know. Just keep that in mind. Now, yeah, share the stream. That's a good idea too. Got to share the stream. It'll be a scream at the stream. All right. But it hasn't even happened yet. And what do we got from Gorka? Apparently, this is, look at the title of this fucker. Gorka. Does the Hunter Biden subpoena even matter now? This is Kash, Patel, and Gorka. One-on-one, because nobody else wants to be in the same room with these dumb fucks. Gorka. Gorka. Does the Hunter Biden subpoena even matter now? All right, I can't wait to hear this this argument. Gorka.
I know Sebastian well. Listen to him. He's with us.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's not important to simply have the best line of music, bumper music in the business. It's also important to have it match your guests and have guests who appreciate it. If you know, you know, to quote.
No, I don't, because you cut it out of this clip so that you could repost the fucking video, stupid. So say the name of the song. Also, whatever the fuck the bumper music is, I guarantee this asshole doesn't actually listen to it.
Yeah, Bongino. That is, of course, Blue Thunder, the perfect music for one of the greatest MAGA patriots out there.
Blue Thunder? That's funny. That's what I call this. It's blue. Anyways. Blue Thunder? What, the theme from Blue Thunder? Catch you later.
Perfect guest for today. Given the news we've been discussing of the Hunter Biden subpoena, a man who has...
What a weird way to say it. Hunter Biden.
Slaughtered deep state dragons for years now. It's great to have him back on the show. It's been far too long. Kash Patel.
How did he... What the fuck you talking... Slaughtered deep state... What? No, you didn't.
Welcome back to America First.
More like Kash Pastel. I can't believe what I did there.
Seb, thanks so much for having me back on. I hope you guys had a happy Thanksgiving.
Well, at least he doesn't seem stiff. I think that's the good part. You know, he doesn't seem at all like he's literally got a broomstick up his ass. He seems so relaxed.
And let's kick off the Christmas cheer today.
Let's do it. Let's do it. You're looking very natty. I like that. What is that, like a turquoise jacket? Very cool. Very cool.
You know, it's the Indian Christmas sheen that I like to break out this time of year.
It suits you, sir. Suits you. All right, let's talk with. Let's talk of the news of.
Yeah, it makes you like you look like you're an insane person selling timeshares.
Of the day, let's have a little reminder.
Stop the teal. Oh, you guys.
Of the incumbent in the White House talking about his reprobate son. Play cut.
What's your understanding of what your son was doing for an extraordinary amount of money?
I don't know what he was doing. I know he was on the board. I found out he was on the board after he was on the board, and that was it. And there's nobody...
Well, you've had a lot of time. Isn't this something you want to get to the bottom of?
No, because I trust my son.
But that doesn't pass the smell test. Like, when you're vice president, isn't there a higher standard? Don't you need to know?
No.
Don't you need No, as a matter of fact, there's a good argument for if you don't know something about that and people go, the minute he knew, avoiding it entirely. The standard is the separation. The standard is not Now that people think you know, you should know. That's fucking dumb.
What's happening with your family? Don't you need to put down some guardrails?
Unless there was something that was, there was something on its face that was wrong. There's nothing on its face that was wrong.
No, millions of dollars from Russia, from Kazakhstan.
From Russia? Oh, you mean the money that went to your star witness, that went into the real estate thing that Hunter didn't have a part of, and that was actually invested, it wasn't kept?
From Romania, from Ukraine, $1.4 billion from China, nothing!
Well, again, we're back to the $1.4 billion? Seriously, fucking dumb. That's it. Like, that, they stopped talking about that number for a while because it's such bullshit. And ever since then, like, I think they like say it as muscle memory at this point.
On the face of it, that looks strange. And of course, I never discussed it at all, except when I was having dinner with his business associates in that crummy Italian restaurant in Georgetown. All right.
In 2018. Is that when it was?
Kash, I'm going to ask the most cynical question of all. Does any of this matter? We know that
no.
They're all crooked as hell.
Yeah, knowing it is enough. You don't have to actually take it to court and find out you're wrong. It's better to just let it hang out there. That was the benefit of Benghazi. All those hearings with her, actually, with Hillary, all it did was make it clearer that these guys were full of shit. It was better to not have her come in and just float this kind of bullshit all the time. The conspiracies work better when you don't fill in the gaps.
The other side's voters think that, Biden's just a sweet old guy and Hunter is just a poor addict. What is the significance?
And your answer to that would be, he's not an addict. And I guess these are guys who like Trump, so they think Trump is sweet. I don't know. I mean, both of them have licked him. I can't judge.
First of the subpoena that's been announced, and then because you're a former national security prosecutor,
No, he isn't. He was put in office for like 6 weeks.
You've been chief of staff at the Pentagon, acting deputy director of national intelligence.
Like in the lead up to fucking Jan 6, because everybody was booking out of there. When Trump was trying to pack the fucking place with loyalists. He wasn't there because he knows shit. He was there as a fucking guard.
What is the significance of this scumbag lawyer, Abby Lowell? And if you want to know how scummy he is,
he used to represent Jared Kushner.
Look at his past clients, then you'll understand. What is the significance?
Jared Kushner.
Significance of him demanding that Hunter Biden not be heard behind closed doors, but in open session. Give us the Kash Patel diagnosis.
Okay, first, the roll into this is fucking aggravating. This is just so fucking lame. Why the fuck would he know anything about this? Dead serious. Other than just being like a Trump mouthpiece surrogate or some shit. Secondly, dragging this stuff out like it's a big fucking deal, or trying to invert the idea that why is this scumbag trying to make sure that Hunter testifies where everyone can see him? Right.
Well, I think you have to weave through the lawyer, the maneuvers they're making,
then do it.
The Republican majority in Congress, and then its impact on national security.
Okay, great. So I noticed you're looking at your list with one of your eyes.
What do I mean by that?
I don't know, but you have it written down just to the right of the screen. Did you go to the Don Jr. School of Broadcasting?
Whether you like or dislike Abby Lowell,
I don't know. I've never needed an attorney of that level, and I hope I never do.
I was running the Russiagate investigation.
This is an interesting sniff.
Represented some of the witnesses there during that process. He is a lawyer who understands masterfully how to work the levers of Congress for the benefit of his client. So when he comes out and says, I'm demanding a public hearing, Republicans...
That means for the first time, certainly since he represented people in the Trump administration, he feels like he's got a client that will look fine on the stand in front of the American people. Notice he never suggested this with his other clients because he wanted to do everything behind closed doors if they did it at all.
Would be fools to acquiesce to that in any way, shape, or form, because
right, because people would see that they're fools. They're already fools. People just recognize that they're fools.
They cannot take on Abbe Lowell in a public forum.
No, definitely not. Even though he wouldn't be answering questions, he would just be whispering to his client about whether or not he can do stuff. They wouldn't be. He wouldn't be there as an advocate in that situation. He would simply be a ride along.
They will lose. They can take out Hunter Biden, but Abbe will be
No, they can't.
sitting next to him.
Right. So what?
So that's my advice.
Give a kind of flavor as to why this person is so dangerous in that congressional setting.
This person is so dangerous. Oh, because he knows the details of the case and he knows everything the Republicans think they know, and he can make them look like assholes.
Because he's better than every member of Congress that we have. That would.
Well, all right. And you know what? I have a quick question. Maybe you know the answer to this, dipshit. Then why doesn't Trump hire him as a lawyer? Why won't? If Abbe Lowell has no problem working for scumbags, losers, and miscreants, and he doesn't care, he just wins for his client, he's just better than anybody in Congress, why didn't Trump hire him? Why isn't he representing Trump in any of these cases that he's got? God knows he needs lawyers. I'm just saying, I would recommend it if I gave a fuck.
Go after and interrogate Hunter Biden. Most of the members of Congress weren't prosecutors, and it's not their fault. They just don't
A few of them are. Dan Goldman was, I think.
know how to take on a witness for the 5 minutes they're given of cross-examination. And what most members of Congress are looking for is their...
Well, that's why they coordinate together, and then they give their 5 minutes to a legal representative of the Republican side of the committee. So they don't have to say their 5 minutes. They just hand it over. They go, I reserve my 30 seconds, and I give the remainder of my time to the counsel for the Republican side, for the majority side. That's how you do it. We've seen it done before. But because all the Republicans there are all about grandstanding and just trying to take a bite out of Hunter for no fucking reason, they're never going to do that. So these dickheads can't even organize their half of the aisle.
5-second headline in the mainstream media to land this political potshot that's meaningless. Look, I'm glad the Hunter Biden subpoena was finally issued, but Seb, where was it a year ago?
Yeah.
Same place it is now, up in smoke.
Like on day one when Republicans came in. You know what's going to happen. It's the holidays, the subpoena's out. Oh, we have to go celebrate with our family. We'll get back to you in January, and then February, and then March, and then the CRs, and then the budgets, and then it'll be no one will care.
Oh, so this is a Republican failure because the Republicans that are running things, including Jim Jordan and Jamie Comer, are fucking morons who are incapable of doing even the baseline level of their job that they ran on as advocates for MAGA and all this stuff, and they just suck, I guess is what you're saying. I guess your point is they suck. They just suck at this. And they're going to continue to suck at this. Okay, good. Thanks for clarification. Glad they brought you on. Also, stop going by your notes. Just fucking wing it. You can't say this stuff off the cuff.
And Republicans, tragically, won't enforce congressional subpoenas
against other Republicans.
So it doesn't matter how many they sent out. Look what the Democrats did unlawfully to our friends Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro when they were held in violating contempt of Congress.
And Jim Jordan, mention what happened to Jim Jordan. Tell him what happened to Jim Jordan.
We haven't even started one. And Mayorkas and Wray and Garland have lied to Congress under oath. They have combined violated 6 congressional subpoenas that I can count.
So, sorry, what the fuck does Mayorkas have to do with this?
For the last year running. And they are still permitted to run their agencies with reckless abandon.
Well, I would take issue with the idea that they're running them with, quote, reckless abandon. That's your characterization, but not the characterization of anyone who's sane. Also, I just watched Mayorkas testify in front of the committee like a week ago. So what the fuck are you talking about?
And this type of behavior that Congress has set, the Republican majority that is exactly what Abby Lowell is taking advantage of.
Right. Well, he's a qualified lawyer. He's a very smart guy. And he's like, these guys are fucking morons. What do you do with a fucking moron?
When he's representing Hunter Biden. And I don't have any confidence that this will lead to any information that the American public, us, your audience, actually deserve for the election, because DOJ and FBI.
Oh, no. Like there's some information you and Gorka deserve. It's right here. It's it's that whole does that qualify? That's evidence. That's evidence. You're right.
Aren't going to do anything. And the one thing that we had in Congress was the majority to get these documents out. I haven't seen a single document, Seb. Maybe you have.
No.
Yeah, it's almost like, yeah, because it's good point. I mean, and let me get this straight. You think Republicans should run the government? These people who can fuck up a free lunch, can't even enforce a subpoena against a former crack addict, couldn't find their ass with both hands. You want them in charge of a country you say is the greatest on the planet. You think that's a good idea. You think incompetent fuckwads like Jamie Comer and Jim Jordan should be in power positions in our government. You think rhinos and the rest of the like neutered MAGA ilk should be in charge of veterans and dealing with poverty and fighting monopolies and the military and security aspects of dealing with, foreign countries that want to do us harm. You want assholes like this near those levers of power. Why? If they're this bad at everything, even the small shit, why the fuck would you trust them with infrastructure even? Jesus Christ.
I thought I was the cynical one. So
No, you're just stupid.
So does this mean that it's all pointless?
Yeah, that's what it means. What you're doing is pointless. What he's doing is pointless. Your entire clip is pointless. The show that you do every day is pointless. I don't know what the fuck Salem News Channel is, but it sounds like you're pro witch burning anyways. Yeah, it's this back and forth is pointless. Yeah, all of it's pointless. It's not going to amount to shit. That's it. It just, there is no there, dumb fuck. Yeah.
Does it mean that Comer, Jordan et al. Have failed us?
Yes, they have. I would just like to say, in fact, that is indeed the case. A bunch of failures, and they failed you, and thank God they have, because by failing you, they have, I guess, helped the rest of us not have to worry about. I mean, can you imagine if people with 2 fucking brain cells were in their position and had access to the kind of stuff? They might even be able to concoct some actual fake evidence. But these dumb fucks have everything they want and still can't manage. This is great.
What conclusions should we draw?
That you're both wasting your time. You're wasting all our time, and you are chasing a bus full of idiots so that you can gargle their balls for no particular reason. No, nobody can figure it out. Honest to God, I think you think you're doing all this for Donald Trump. You ain't. Both of you, in your honest moments, if you were asked under, truth serum, if Donald Trump is smarter or better at anything than you are, you would say no. Gorka.
Well, politically, I think they'd probably say they're doing the job and winning the battle.
Politically. Yeah? Is that what they'd say? Is that why their 4-person majority is about to go to 3? Is it?
If they are able to get and wrench away maybe 1 or 2 documents from Hunter Biden on the bank records, and maybe 1 or 2 documents from the FBI.
1 or 2? We just watched Comer say they've got them all.
And DOJ showing that this investigation was politicized.
What investigation? Why would Comer want to get documents from the FBI to show that their investigation of Hunter Biden and Joe Biden is politicized? Say that again? What the shit? Back the fuck up.
Documents from Hunter Biden.
Oh, no. All right.
Say they're doing the job and winning the battle. If they are able to get and wrench away maybe 1 or 2 documents from Hunter Biden on the bank records, and maybe 1 or 2 documents from the FBI and DOJ showing that this investigation was politicized, it was shut down, so that we can...
Oh, that it was shut down. Why would... If they've got all the documents that the FBI and them have, they're in the process of investigating. They wouldn't have to have another investigation. They've got all the records. So basically, what you want is presumably FBI agents who were hot on the trail of Joe Biden, who got him dead to rights, baby. They knew where the body's buried. They knew where the gun was thrown. They knew the bridge it was thrown off into the river. They were just one scuba mask and a couple of 10-minute plunge away from recovering the smoking gun. But they know exactly where it is, and you can get that document back from them and go, ah, shit. Here's the map. It's got an X on it, right where the smoking gun is laying. And then they want to swim to it instead of just looking at the bank records and doing the math themselves with a bigger staff than the FBI has for a case like this.
Carry that documentation with us to your great show and some of the other great programs across the...
What? Okay, that's fucking amazing. So this isn't about, like, convicting Joe Biden or convicting Hunter. This is about convincing his viewers that this is still something. This is more about, these motherfuckers are addressing the fact that the watchers of these kind of shows are sick of this shit.
That this investigation was politicized. It was shut down. So that we can carry that documentation with us to your great show and to some of the other great programs across the country and use that during an election cycle, then it will be a victory. We are not going to convince Hunter Biden in the court of public opinion, and we're certainly not going to...
Convict? He mixed up convict and convince. I don't know why.
Convict him of any serious crimes in a court of law with Merrick Garland and Christopher Wray running that shop, that operation, unless, of course, they want to sideline Joe Biden. That's a separate story.
Right.
Right. Okay. That's the other idea, is that the deep state wants to get rid of Joe Biden, and they're going to use Hunter to do it. So they're just holding him in there in case of emergency, break glass, and they'll use this to get Joe out of office so they can run somebody else.
I think they might do.
That's and that's a fantasy, because these guys have seen the internal polling that Trump has seen that shows him completely fucked.
Say it does occur. Say he can't, wriggle his way out of a closed-door deposition. If you were running it, what should be happening behind closed doors, and what questions should be asked of Hunter Biden?
Well, first I would get a large old telephone book and a sack of oranges.
Well, the one thing they shouldn't do is ask the political questions. Who cares about him being a lifelong Democrat or his dad?
Right.
And the thing that they should focus on is, hey, Hunter, here's a $78,000 payment.
Why are you holding up a weird little knife? Why are you just holding a knife in your hand for no particular reason? You strange little man.
From company X, who is owned by the CCP. What did you do for that money?
And them will go, here's the papers filing for CEFC to purchase a natural gas plant in Louisiana. We were the conveyor for that. Here's the documentation where I was insisting they set up a U.S. subsidiary that would be under U.S. law to complete the purchase. They refused to do that. The deal died. Next question. And the money that they put into a holding account that was 10% of what would the overall deal be worth, we divvied up at the end of it because they fucked up, and we got to keep the "you're wasting my fucking time" money. Like a sensible businessman.
Did you register as a foreign agent? Did your father and family receive any of the proceeds of that ill-gotten gain? Are they members?
First of all, presumes facts, not an evidence that it was, quote, ill-gotten. Secondarily, while you continue to read off your fucking Post-it notes on the side screen. Either that, or it's very possible, by the way, that he's not reading off this, although I think he is. It could also be that that's where the monitor is that has Gorka's face on it. So he's looking over there while he's looking. You know what I'm talking about? Like it's a FaceTime issue where you're looking where they are, not where your camera is. It's weird.
Members of any other LLCs we don't know about.
Please, can you? We can't find any crimes. Can you concoct some for us? Can you make up? I mean, we have the ability in the government to see who owns any American citizen who runs an LLC, because it's needed for bank records. It exists, and we can do like a one fucking keystroke search for it. But are there any that we don't know about, other than the 500 or so Donald Trump has just for bank accounts?
Did your dad call any CCP or Ukrainian officials and say, if my son isn't given this contract, you're not getting U.S. aid? Those are the types of answers under oath that would be helpful.
No. If the answer was yes, but they aren't.
But I'm not sure that this Republican-led majority is ready to ask those questions.
Why not? You think you're some sort of brilliant fucking legal mind? What the shit are you talking about? That'll be one of the first ones. What'd they get in exchange for this? Did anybody ask you to... Did you tell anybody you could get your dad to do things in exchange for this money? Did your dad tell you to tell them to... Like, of course, it's the only questions they're going to ask. What the shit?
Yeah, no, that's the big question.
Ew. All right, I don't want to hear any shit about DeSantis wiping his fucking snot all over the place.
That would be helpful, but I'm not sure that this Republican-led majority is ready to ask those questions.
Yeah, no, that's the big question, especially if you realize.
I think he was just nervous that he had some coke there. Still, that looked like an Ellis moment from Die Hard.
That we're 10 and a half months into this. House, into this Congress, and we're getting a subpoena for this individual only now. I mean, God bless Mike Johnson, but the fact that Kevin McCarthy did nothing. I want to ask you also about...
What the fuck does this have to do with Kevin McCarthy? He's set this fucking committee up almost immediately. He can't make this shit happen. Mike Johnson doesn't control whether Comer and Jim Jordan ask for fucking subpoenas.
The release under the new speaker of the January 6th footage, what that means for the political prisoners who have been abused by the DOJ.
Oh, you mean the ones that beat cops and shit on the stairs? I mean, they're FBI agents. I don't even know why you're trying to get them out. Aren't they all informants and agents provocateur? I mean... Again, if they were prodded into doing this shit by agents provocateurs, do you really want fuckheads like that on the street anyways? I guess you guys need all the help you can get.
You want to talk about also the hostages. You want to talk about the open border. But right now, let me ask you, it's not a gotcha question.
Definitely not.
But what do you think of the replacement of the speaker? I think what Matt Gaetz did was good.
Except when it was bad.
Given the fact that at least we have the J6 footage, what's your take?
Why? All it's going to do is get more J6ers arrested.
On that hand grenade being thrown into Congress.
Well, I'm a guy who's probably in the minority who wants Congress to act more on their constitutional oversight jobs and on their jobs of actually passing a budget and legislating and going back to the traditional ways of Congress. And that just wasn't getting done. Seb, I know you know this, but you know.
Of course it was getting done. It's one of the reasons why they kicked him to the curb. All right, this is now boring me.